Matt Stepp, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, back here at the Texas High School Coaches Association and Convention here in beautiful San Antonio, Texas, here with the head coach of those Longview Lobos, Coach John King. Coach, appreciate you taking a few minutes to chat with us. A busy first day of coaching school.
It is. It's going to be a great convention. I think they're expecting over 17,000 in attendance this year, which will be a record. But yeah, great to be here. And this tells you that the start of the season's close.
Yeah, it's not
real close.
It's not long. And so for you, I was making a mention that, the last couple of years you had to wear a suit and tie. You were you were looking good, but I know you're a little more comfortable now. It's nice to just be in some normal coaching clothes, right?
Yes, it is. And to be in normal coaching clothes, and the first thing on my itinerary today was this interview. Instead of having to be here at 7:30 for registration.
There you go. Well, we appreciate you making a few minutes to chat with us. I saw your itinerary. You got a busy one as always.
Yeah, tomorrow will be hectic, but today's pretty calm.
There you go. Well, Coach, let's talk about your ball club a little bit. Last year, 11-2, ball club, 5A Division I, Region semifinalists. And I know for you guys, the expectations, there's no secret. The expectations are high in Longview, and that's just part of the job. But I feel like, people will say, oh, Longview 11-2, that's a disappointment. I wouldn't view, 11-2 season for you guys, that's still a good year. How long? But I know you have a desire to bring home another state championship. So when the season ends, how long for you personally does it take for you to kind of, I don't want to say get over it, but kind of get ready for next year? How long do you kind of think about that?
The expectations are to win at a high level at Longview. That's never going to change. And I was disappointed in the outcome. 11-2. I'm appreciative of what we did and proud of what the kids did. And we get beat in the regional semifinals by a field goal with a chance to advance. But for me, tough games like that, it's hard to get over.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen in a week, doesn't happen in a month, and some of those don't happen in a year.
Sure,
because you think about the chances of what could have been. And I hate it for the kids and the families that are involved because they get a 4-year window. I get to keep coaching.
To them, right?
I get to keep coaching. Those guys, their career's over, and I feel for those guys. But in the same sense, I'm proud of them and what they represent.
But when you're here now, it's like you're looking ahead. The hope of everybody's undefeated. Everybody's got the promise of a new season, and I know that kind of, I don't want to date you, but you've been around a little while. But this gets you energized, right? When you're here and you're amongst fellow coaches, it just gets you ready. And the pads are about to start popping, right?
Yeah, everybody's 0-0 and right now, and feeling good about it. Everybody's got questions, I'm sure, looking for answers. Whether it's personnel, whether it's finding coaches, or a player issue. So it's an exciting time, and as I said, to kick off a coaching school, let you know that summer's over. Start of football season's here.
So do you guys have strength and conditioning still going, or is it more now? Do you kind of modify your schedule now once you get back from back to Longview?
Well, we'll go back and finish out this week when we get back from the convention, and we'll go one more week after that with our high school age kids, and then give them a week off when we start freshman practice for them to kind of recharge and get things they need to get done before the start of school. Sure. So, but we try to keep them as busy as we can, and summer's been good. We hadn't had too terrible hot weather. We've had to work around some rain, some severe storms that we've had in the area, but all in all, it's been a good summer.
Now, when you look at you guys moving up to Class 6A, and we've talked about it a couple times, where you kind of thought there was a chance you're going to move up to 6A and going into 6A. Your new district, I think it's tough. There's no doubt about it. But your district in 5A was pretty tough as well. So when you got your packet and UIL realignment there in February, what were your overall thoughts on the new district? Well,
I kind of figured it would go one or two ways. Would we be with Rockwall or would we be with Mesquite? Because I figured that Forney, North Forney, Roy City, they had to go with us and Tyler somehow.
They're furthest east.
Yeah. So there's not many 6As out in East Texas, but it's going to be an exciting district. There's some really good football teams there. Get to rekindle some old rivalries with the Rockwall schools I mentioned back in the district with Tyler Legacy. New schools are North Forney and Moore City that we don't know much about, and they've had some coaching changes. And then, of course, Forney, Jeff Fleener and the Jackrabbits, they had a great year last year, and they got most of them back, and we've been in the district with them, so we're a little more familiar with those guys. So, but 6A Region 2 is going to be tough. There's some monsters in that region, and you just hope that you're one of the 4 teams that makes a postseason and see what you can do.
Then after that, it's kind of a 1-week season every week, right?
That's all it ever is.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless of what classification you're in or what the expectations are in terms of, everybody expects you to win state or make a deep playoff run. I mean, it's a 1-game season, and if you don't play well, you're going home.
Yeah. When you look at your ball club, I think there'll be a lot of new faces for the Lobos this year. I know you lost a really good senior class, and you guys went through spring ball, so I know you got to work some things out and get a look at your guys. Do you have a feel yet or a good idea of what your ball club's personality is going to be? I mean, I kind of have an idea knowing what a Coach King ball club looks like, but what's your take on your team and their personality going into the season?
The mindset of Longview's always been toughness and physicality, right? It was that way before I got there. We just fed off of that, and that's still going to have to be what we hang our hat on. You go through spring ball, and I say it like this: it's apples on apples, because you're going against yourself, and you may not have quite the competition across from one another in the line of scrimmage that you may see on Friday night from an opponent. So you don't really know. There's still that the factor of, are we really that good or are we really that bad? You don't know until you play somebody else. We're going to be young. We're going to be inexperienced. We lost the entire secondary. Never have had that happen before. I mean, when I say the entire secondary, the ones and the twos, I mean, they were all seniors. So we're going to have to move a bunch of guys up to play varsity football that don't have very much experience there. But, we've got some good young kids we're going to fill in with. And then offensively, we lose the great running back in Taylor Tatum.
Yeah,
we've got some good running backs in the stable still.
Longview always has a couple.
We've got a few of those, and have a new quarterback this year. And looking at it, you going into the spring, you think you're pretty good in the offensive line, because we had 4 guys back that had either started or played quite a bit. So that is the one area we do have experience. So all in all, young team, inexperienced team, but we just we need to play somebody else. We need to figure it out, and that's what our non-district schedule is going to do to us. Playing the teams we're playing with Lufkin, Marshall, South Oak Cliff, and then Ruston out of Louisiana.
And I know for you like to. Sometimes it's by necessity, but I think you also like to play that tough non-district schedule because you want somebody that can expose some of those warts, because then you have time to fix it and move some things around and make, because every year you got to adjust based on your kids, right? So if you play someone that's good enough to hurt you a little bit, you can fix it before district.
That's right. I want to know as soon as I can find out. It's a deal where let's play good ones all the way through, and because everybody's going to present different problems. Some teams may be spread, some may be power run teams, some play even front on defense, some play odd. You got to figure out what your kids can do versus all those looks, and I think that's what our non-district schedule will do for us. And it's going to be a tough one, but we need that, and to be prepared for a tough district race.
Looking ahead, I know in Longview, when I was out in East Texas at the 7-on-7, I think just recently Longview passed a bond for some facility upgrades. How excited are you about those upgrades? What are you going to get, and what's that say about how the community of Longview feels about their students, and not just athletics but academics as well?
Well, that's a commitment to excellence. What that is, that's a commitment that our community's made to our school district, and I'm fired up. I mean, we're getting things that we've been deserving, in my opinion, and we hadn't been able to do. But we're going to upgrade every athletic facility we got, and we're going to get a new indoor. We're going to get a new natatorium that'll be the showpiece of East Texas, if not the state of Texas. Covered tennis courts. Going to redo Lobo Stadium. There's some things that need to be done there as far as upkeep.
Just keep that popcorn at Lobo Stadium.
We will keep popcorn there, and we're going to redo the press box, and then the Coliseum. We're going to redo some things there. But every athletic team is benefiting from that bond, and it was a $460 million bond. I mean,
big investment,
and it was the third time we had proposed a bond in the last 3 years, and we won it convincingly. So I think it's the mindset of it's time, and we need to do it for Longview.
There you go. Well, Coach, one thing I think people know about you is obviously your son Haynes and the things that he's done at Georgia Tech, but you also have another child who's a great athlete in her own right, and your daughter Steely, who's a elite gymnast as well. How rewarding and also challenging, because she's still got a job at Longview. How rewarding and challenging has that been to be able to go follow their careers as they compete in their respective sports at the next level?
there's nothing I enjoy better than watching my kids compete, regardless of what sport it is. And my daughter, she did it the hard way, and she had a lot tougher road than what Haynes did, because Haynes played football in Longview, which is, as good as what there is in the state of Texas. She had to be a gymnast, and there's not many gyms out in East Texas, but she was fortunate enough to go and become a college gymnast at TWU. She's been a national champion. She's been an All-American. She's had a great year and graduated with her degree. But it is a challenge because, during football season, of course, Friday night game ends, and I'm finding an airport going to Atlanta, or flying wherever on the East Coast, because the closest game Georgia Tech plays to me is in Atlanta, So, and then in the spring, I'm able to go watch her.
I talked to you one day. You were in Philadelphia. Did you get a cheesesteak where you in Philadelphia?
I went to Geno's.
Was it good?
Yes, and I have seen some parts of the world I probably would have never seen. Went to places, but I enjoy it, and just treasured every minute of it, and try not to miss any of them.
Now, here's a question for you. It's an Olympic year, Coach.
Yeah.
And
we're in Paris.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if NBC Sports called you and said, "Hey, Coach King, we need a gymnastics analyst," do you know enough about gymnastics? You're a gymnastics dad, so could you be an analyst for NBC on the Olympic coverage?
I know as much about gymnastics as I do soccer.
Okay.
I know this. Those judges at those gymnastics meets,
are they worse than referees?
They're worse than referees.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, I want to holler at them sometimes.
There you go.
Particularly when it's my daughter.
You think they're used to getting hollered at by a football coach?
No, not hardly. But I can tell you, I enjoy watching gymnastics. You're talking about elite athletes.
Oh,
it's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable what those men and women can do in those sports is a lot more than what I could do. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
I don't have the body of a gymnast.
For sure. And you talk about committed. It's year round, and it takes a toll on their bodies.
Oh yeah. But the strength. I mean, those, especially the female gymnastics, they're little. They're not big people like we are. They're as pound for pound as strong as anyone.
They're very explosive. Yeah. You're right, and they're tough. Believe me, they're tough, and they take some falls and they get up, and it's kind of like they say, no crying in baseball. They don't do much crying in gymnastics either. They're tough little old girls.
One other thing, Coach, is you've been doing this a while, and you get former players who become coaches, and I know you see them here at the convention, and you get former players who become head coaches. And I talked to one of your former players who became a head coach in Gordon Booker, who got the Seagaville job, and he had two things that I needed to ask you about. Well, actually not ask you, I'll tell you about. The first thing he said was, ask Coach King if 7-on-7 gives him the red ass. Does 7-on-7 give you the red ass?
It gives me the screaming red ass. Yes.
And the second thing he told me was, he told me, he goes, that man, John King, is a second father to me.
Well,
and and I know that's not the first time you've heard that, but when you hear your former players say that about you, what's that mean about you, and what's that mean? That kind of speaks to the profession, but when you hear that, what's that mean to you personally when a young man says that about you?
It means that our program does them right. That's what I believe. I tell people all the time, I cross paths with these former players in the grocery store, and I don't know if they're going to hug me or hit me. I hope they hug me. But Buck Nasty, man, he of course I wish him the best of luck, but he's one of those guys that tough and did everything I asked of him, and he's a Lobo at heart, and I know he carries it with him, but man, love coaching guys like that, and he's going to do great things, and so fired up for him, because he had some things that went against him.
Sure,
had some other jobs and things, but he found him one, and he's going to make the most of it. He's going to treat those kids right, and he's going to do it the right way.
Well, Coach, I appreciate your time. I'll let you get to the rest of the convention as always. It's a pleasure to chat with you. And we kept Tepper away from you. I don't know where Catfish is, and so.
Well, I saw him earlier. He didn't pick me to win it this year. I'm kind of disappointed. And he even picked us third in district. He said, "What do you think about that?" I said, "By the time you did your job right."
There you go. Fine.
Probably where we fit.
Well, Coach, appreciate your time and appreciate what you do for student athletes in the state of Texas.
Thanks, Steph.
Thanks,
appreciate
Coach.
you.